Hey you guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and I got another recap for you guys. Married at First Sight UK Season 7 episode number 14. We are on our third dinner party with our two newest couples at the party, and we had a lot of stuff going on. We had a bride who is no longer on the show being accused. We also have this whole blow up between Gemma and Matt. And then it looks like there might be a little bit of a scandal on the horizon. So we're going to unpack all of that. But before we do, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel to receive all updates. And please don't forget to like and share. So let's start trying to break down this possible upcoming scandal with two of the contestants on the show. Now, we know that Whitney and Duca has had their litany of struggles with their relationship and marriage. I mean, everything from day one at the altar. It seemed like they kind of, Whitney let her guards down or her walls down a little bit, but not enough to really make strides in this whole relationship that she has with Duca. And then they had the intimacy week where the expert Charlene gave them things to do, and she just didn't take it seriously. On the flip side, we have our newest couple, which is Gemma and Matt. They were great on day one. At the altar, the chemistry, everything, until she started to, and I kind of heard one of the experts say she needs to get her validation through sex due to her being part of the hookup culture. I found that pretty interesting. Obviously, I don't know her past. Obviously, the experts maybe do. But, I mean, for her to, the comments that she was making on the honeymoon, the comments, the fish comments she made at the reception, looked like it just turned Matt completely off. Now, a lot of people don't have, good things. I've seen a couple things they really didn't like about Matt, but at the end of the day, some people approach things differently. And in this case, she's very sexually assertive. However, it seems to be a little bit too much for Matt. And so much so that he is pretty much look like he's shutting down. Now, they seem to kind of hold it together with this up and down connection that they have, because one moment it seemed like it's getting better, next moment it falls apart. She even tells some of the other cast members about what she said, and they were shocked about it too. So let's talk about this dinner party. So the things between Whitney and Duca it's just not there. They're friendly, but they're both in the friend zone pretty much. It looked like Whitney was absolutely bored. He tried to make the best of it, but I kind of feel sorry for Duca because he is trying so hard to make this work with Whitney, and it's just not there. And I think she thinks he's a cute guy and all, but he is not what she's looking for. Now, obviously, she came to this show to get experts to help her find somebody. I would hope that's why she came here. But obviously, it's just not the case with these two. And on the flip side with Gemma and Matt, it really came to a head because it caused Matt to storm out of this group dinner party after having enough of Gemma's dirty jokes. And she, as we know, she made some crude comments toward Matt despite him begging for space and telling her that the jokes made him feel uncomfortable. Now, explosions set off when Gemma said, I'm just flirting with my husband, accusing of him acting like he doesn't really fancy, quote unquote, her. Then this is where we see Gemma kind of back Matt into a corner saying, do you fancy me or not? Which he clapped back after being consistently effing pressured. No. And so Gemma told him to F off. Now, Matt pretty much took his drink down. He left the party telling the other grooms, I don't want to get off, but I want to be heard. Because George went out there and asked him to come back to the party. And, of course, everybody else was trying to console, Gemma. Obviously, I think the only tweak in this particular couple situation is that Gemma just let it happen naturally. Look what happened to Kaja and Kwame. And we'll talk a little bit about them in a minute. But if she kind of just relax and just enjoy, growing in a relationship, maybe they can have a change. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting because there's a scandal about wife swapping that's coming up. And it looks like it's going to be this whole situation between Whitney and Matt. So I know the Daily Mail was talking about this on allegedly Whitney cheated on Duca with Matt that's coming up. And I guess the scenes haven't aired yet, but I guess allegedly Whitney and Matt spend the night together during this couples retreat that's coming up while their partners were also there. And this whole scandal is set to kind of shake up the cast, with Gemma breaking down in tears after the whole affair becomes public among the couples. Whitney and Duca, as we know, were coupled up, and that was one of the first weddings that we saw. We just talked about them. But yeah, they were pretty much shocked by what's supposed to come. And I guess I should have said spoiler alert, but we kind of saw a little hint of that at this dinner party. So I guess we got to stay tuned to see what happened with that. But let's talk a little bit about these other couples. Now, as for April and George, it seemed like they had been doing pretty well, except the fact that his insecurities keep coming to the surface, which is, not doing well with April, because April is like trying to lean into the relationship and the marriage. And because he's been cheated on so many times in the past, he don't really feel that maybe he measure up or he's adequate enough. And it was good that even though originally she was talking about her husband at the little cocktail party before the dinner party and at the dinner party, once he was out there having a conversation with Matt and he came back, she was talking about how good of a man he is. So I'm hoping that she is genuine with what she's saying and not just telling him what he wants to hear. But he also needs to know too that you got to kind of be a little vulnerable. But maybe he's, April's not giving him the space to do so. I guess we'll have to see. So I think they can make it work, but I honestly think that they need to have a little bit more communication. So we didn't really get a lot with Jenna and Zoe in this episode. They seem like they're doing okay, so I'm assuming that they worked out their differences in what we saw from the last time. It looks like at the commitment ceremony, they might have a little issues, but we'll see. Then we have Sophie and Jonathan. I absolutely love this couple. This is one of my top 2 couples. They were at that dinner party when all that ruckus was going on. They was like, my goodness, what do we walk into? So hopefully they stay grounded, continue building with their marriage. Sophie is happy with who she has. And she said that Jonathan makes her feel secure. So that's good to know. And hopefully, their lifestyles, the differences and how they were raised, this whole classism thing doesn't, come into the picture. And it doesn't seem so. But so far, so good with these two. I really like them. All right, Adrian and Thomas. Now, he had promised Adrian that there was not going to be any loud shenanigans tonight. And for the most part, he did pretty good with that until that whole blow up between April, Shanita, and himself. Because Jess' name was thrown around here, who's not here to defend herself. She did also see the episode and she went to Instagram and she pretty much put him on blast. And I'll leave the link of that in the description. But she kind of counteract everything that Thomas was saying, that kind of shifts the blame on Jess now. And even like Shanita said, she's not even here to kind of defend herself and she got thrown in this. So my thing is, it's a bunch of he say, she say stuff. Just squash it at this point and let's move on and focus on these marriages. So next up is the surprising couple of Kaja and Kwame. And Charlene obviously knew what to send in when it came to intimacy week, because these two are holding hand in hand. He was like, "What you wearing tonight?" So whatever it is, Kasia must have put it on Kwame, because they look like they are connected. Now, I don't know what the future hold with these two, because they were about to fall apart over the last several weeks. But, I'm here to see the progress. If there's something that's, moving this couple forward and they didn't consummated the marriage, which it looked like they have, I'm happy to see it. So we'll see what happens moving forward with Kasia and Kwame. And then last up, my other favorite couple is Shanita and Jordan. Now, I know they had some issues last week where, Jordan feel like he was being picked on and nagged by Shanita. But obviously they worked it out. She looked absolutely gorgeous yesterday. I love her makeup and everything. But they seem to be doing pretty well. I'm wondering what's going to happen at the commitment ceremony with these two, and kind of give us some insight of the work that they put in between what we saw with them the previous week. So they're at my top two. I have Sophie and Jonathan at the top, and then also Shanita and Jordan as my second go-to couple that seem to be pretty much doing very well. So we'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds with all of our couples. And I wanted to also clear something up, because Matt did send a message on his Instagram to set the record straight about the cheating situation, that there was no betrayal. He quoted that there was no cheating, that he and Gemma had not been together for 7 days, and we had been apart more than what we've ever been together. So it looks like I said, according to the Daily Mail, Matt and Whitney did hook up. But I guess the way Matt is saying is that he wasn't with his partner at the time, which was Gemma. So there you have it. You know me, I like to make sure that I cross my I's and dot my T's. I know that sounds crazy, but let me know what your thoughts are. Let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. And until the next video, which should be the commitment ceremony, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.